was one very interesting 911 call. We have with us still trial attorney and federal litigator Alexis Rosenberg. And we also have with us, joining us this hour, trial attorney and former prosecutor Deanna Paul. I'm going to start with you, Alexis. I'm listening to this, and I believe Blake Scanlon buried the lead, as they say. He called 911 because he said he was injured. And for the first part of that call, we're listening about his injury. The 911 operator is helping him address his injury. Then we find out, wait a minute, I stabbed my girlfriend and she's dead. What are your thoughts about the fact that first he's talking about himself and then he kind of admits that he killed his girlfriend?
Yeah, you kind of just threw that out pretty casually under the circumstances. I mean, we have a situation. I don't know, from what we've heard so far, these injuries that he inflicted on himself weren't that severe. I mean, listening to it, you kind of question, okay, was he bleeding? Was he weak? Was he not thinking clearly at that point? We don't know at this exact point. The whole thing is a little odd. I mean, it really is. The fact that he comes out with his injuries and kind of just drops that bombshell is very strange.
I think it's very strange. And Deanna, I'm going to, turn to you and ask you, you look at him and you see him sitting there and his demeanor is a little bit stoic, as my producer said in my ear. He seems cool, calm, and collected. And he seems cool, calm, and collected on the phone as well. He just stabbed, or at some point stabbed, his girlfriend 28 times. What do you think about how he presented himself during that 911 call?
911 calls are really compelling pieces of evidence. They bring a jury into the scene at or around the time of the crime. And in this one, even though he is stoic, he confesses. He says that he stabbed his girlfriend. And I think defense counsel knows how important that is to the case, which is why in her opening, she really just started it by saying this isn't a matter of if he committed the crime, it's what he committed. And she's focusing in on whether it's first degree or second degree murder and whether or not it was premeditated.
Exactly. And the other question that I have, and I'll turn to you, Alexis, he stabbed her 28 times on Friday. This is a couple of days later. I believe it's Sunday. And he only called 911 after he had the phone and the mother was texting the daughter and she didn't answer her phone, or she answered in a strange way. And she said, if I don't hear your voice, I'm going to call the police. That's when he called 911. How is that going to affect, if at all, the fact that this is premeditated murder?
I mean, that's extremely disturbing. I mean, it really is. I mean, I'm leaning towards the fact that this goes to a crime of passion. It seems like if, there's an argument to be made that if it was premeditated, then he wouldn't necessarily be sitting there with the body. I mean, the failed, suicide attempt, I don't know. Was that for show? Was he really trying to commit suicide? I mean, we're probably going to hear some testimony related to that, I would assume. But I mean, to me, what we've heard so far is just not supporting the premeditation.
Alexis, you make a really good point. He sat there for days with the body in a small apartment, showing, in my opinion, that he could have had some sort of mental breakdown. So that could help as far as that premeditation or that crime of passion is concerned. We'll see what happens. All right, we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.